The Vermillion City Council meeting scheduled for Monday, March 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. will come to order. Alex, will you call roll?
Toller. Here. Lieber. Here. Price. Here. Holland. Here. Genowine. Here. Helwig. Here. Cheeseman. Here. Murrah. Here. Mayor Cole.
Here. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from February 17, 2026 special meeting and the February 17, 2026 regular meeting? If so, are there any changes or motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Motion approved by Councilor Holland. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Helwig. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is adoption of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? If so, are there any changes to the agenda or motion to adopt?
Move approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda by Councilor Price, second by Councilor Murray. Any other discussion on the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Agenda is adopted. For visitors to be heard. Under visitors to be heard, persons addressing the council, please come to the podium and use the microphone and state your name and address before addressing the council. For items not on the agenda, members of the public may speak under visitors to be heard, and remarks are limited to 5 minutes and no decision will be made at this time. On any agenda item, public testimony will be given at the beginning of each agenda item after the subject has been announced and explained by staff, and any person who wishes may speak for one time for 5 minutes on each agenda item. Public testimony will then be closed and given to the governing body for possible action. At that point, only city council members and staff may discuss the current agenda item unless there's unanimous consent from the council for a person to speak. Questions, however, may be directed to staff or member of the public through the presiding officer at any time. We also speak that if there's any item on the consent agenda, to also speak under visitors to be heard to consider for any consent agenda item. We do have a proclamation that we'll hear at the end of this. Is there any visitors to be heard for anything on not on the agenda today? Just come forward, just state your name and address.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Greg Merrigan. I'm here on behalf of the Feeding Vermillion Board of Directors. Here for two things. One is to thank you for your continued support of our organization, and two, to share with you a copy of our annual report. Jose distributed those a moment ago. I'd like to point out a couple things in that report, if you could open it up to the first page where it says about us. Over on the right side, those are the 7 programs that kind of fall under the Feeding Vermillion umbrella. All these programs are located at the Community Connection Center on Court Street. The welcome table is a free community meal. It's going on right now. It's held every Monday night. It's open to anybody in the community. Community Food Pantry, we are open 5 days a week for various hours. The only requirement to shop at the pantry is that you are a resident of Clay County. Tanager shopping are special hours on Wednesday for any student in the school district to come in with their parents. It's kind of there's a little less hectic in there for them. Tanager delivery, every Friday we deliver food to all the schools for any student that has signed up for some weekend meals. Golden Share, we have a number of people in the community that are homebound, and we deliver a couple food boxes to them once a month. School supplies, typically we give out about 300 bags of school supplies. When school starts, people sign up at the Community Connection Center. And Brain Boost is our newest program. We did a trial last spring, and then we started it last fall. We are supplying 600 snacks every day to every elementary school kid in the district. It's gone really well. We found out through some surveys that a lot of teachers were supplying snacks to the kids for kids that couldn't afford to bring them. So we took the initiative, it worked in our budget, and we are now doing that every day. So that's kind of our newest program. We have no paid employees. The employees in that building are all paid by United Way. We have a core group of about 100 volunteers that make all these programs work. And again, thank you for supporting us over the years. It's very much appreciated. Any questions?
Thank you, Greg. I do have one question. If somebody wants to volunteer, where do they go? Who do they reach out to? And are you looking for volunteers?
Always. We have a lot of students that volunteer, and they typically leave in the summer, so we always have a need in the summer. But Community Connection Center, Anna's at the front desk, and she'd be glad to sign you up.
And then the only other question I have, if somebody didn't want to make a contribution, do they go then through United Way, like you said, that's funded through United Way, or do they make it directly to Feeding Vermillion?
Directly to Feeding Vermillion.
Okay.
Yep. We receive no money from United Way. We actually pay them a fee every year for use of the building, because we're kind of the main tenant in that building. So utilities, we get a lot of freezers and stuff like that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other visitors to be heard before we hear the proclamation? Seeing none, we do have a proclamation from the Human Relations Commission in reference to Women's History Month.
Good evening and thank you. My name is Erin Burrow and I'm here on behalf of the Human Relations Commission. Whereas the City of Vermillion recognizes and values the diversity of its current residents as well as the generations who came before us and contributed to our history, and whereas when that history focuses heavily on political, military, and economic leaders and events, it tends to virtually exclude women, both leaders and ordinary citizens. And whereas women's history adds very different perspectives about what is historically significant, exploring not just the contributions of leaders in the public sphere, but also examining women's activities in the private sphere and their experiences at the crossroads where the two spheres meet and interact. And whereas in 1987, a joint resolution passed by Congress declared March as National Women's History Month in perpetuity, and whereas the National Women's History Month 2026 theme is Leading the Change, Women Shaping a Sustainable Future. Now, therefore, we, the Vermillion Human Relations Commission, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Women's History Month in the City of Vermillion. We encourage residents to educate themselves about and celebrate the contributions of women in our schools and universities, as well as in our families, our community, our state, and our country. By celebrating our diversity and promoting education, inclusion, equality, and fairness, we continue to create a stronger and more vibrant community. Signed, Trevor Mandernack, VHRC Chair.
Thank you, Aaron. Are there any other visitors to be heard? Councilor Murrah?
Speaking of women making history, history was made this last weekend for the Vermillion High School in women's wrestling. Blair Merkwan was the first woman wrestler to win the state title for the city or for Vermillion High School. So I would like to say congratulations to her on that accomplishment.
Thank you, Councilor Murrah. Any other visitors to be heard? Well, seeing none, I think we have a lot to celebrate for successes in the last week. If y'all haven't heard, we're also for the second time back-to-back champs in small town art scene for the USA Today and South Dakota Community of the Year. So a lot of great stuff happening in our community. On that note, we're going to move on to public hearings. We have a special assessment role for construction and concrete surfacing and other improvements for Carr Street from West Duke to Power Street. Jose.
Thank you. So North Carr Street was an existing north-south undeveloped right-of-way that commenced at West Duke Street and ended at Bauer Street. Prior to construction in 2025, the portion of North Carr Street was undeveloped and lacked any street improvements. However, adjacent property owners have developed since 2015. Construction of this section of Carr Street was completed in early October 2025, with a final payment being issued on November 2025. The special assessments were calculated and filed with the interim finance officer on January 29, 2026. On February 2nd of this year, the city council approved the resolution setting today as a hearing date for the assessment. Administration recommends approving the special assessment roll provided to the council for the construction of a portion of North Carr Street.
Thank you, Jose. Is there any visitors to be heard on this? Seeing none, any discussion by council? Councilor Holland?
Jose, you said that we have remaining 381,000. How come you're asking for 387,000? It's, what, page 6? What page would that be? It's 6B, public hearing, item A, the very last part of it. You said that?
So the portion that's actually being assessed is the 381,000,
Right,
and the portion that you're talking, the 387,
right.
that was the estimate that was given to the council originally back last year, back in June 17th, 2024. That was the estimate from staff. We were just trying to tell you that the cost was less than was estimated.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Any other discussion by council? Are there any motions?
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Councilor Holland. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Lieber. Any other discussion on this? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying nay. Motion carried. Next item we have is the consent agenda. We have the invoices, fuel quotes, which I believe are going to get put on the screen. Resolution authorizing the sale of real property in reference to the Jolly Edition. Final plot for Lot 1 Light and Power Edition. The Vermillion Area Chamber Development Company requests to use the $25,000 for the Grove Vermillion pledge payment for East Side Facility Plan Study. A wastewater treatment facility improvement project, and a resolution to purchase a solid waste loader for the joint powers. Is there any consent agenda items the council wishes to remove, or is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion approved by Councilor Cheeseman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Price. Any other discussion on consent agenda items? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying nay. Consent agenda is approved. Moving on to old business, we have a second reading for ordinance to place changes for June 2nd, 2026 ballot to amend the City of Vermillion Home Rule Charter in reference to financial procedures. John.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item that I think the council's heard a few times, that you are all pretty familiar with. I think now that if this is passed, we need to make sure that the community understands what this is about. Last year, the city council had looked at adopting an ordinance to modify the timing of the adoption of the city's budget. This was due to changes in the state law that happened just a couple of years ago. As we looked at that option, the council considered it, we discovered that there was some dates spelled out in the Home Rule Charter, which was adopted in November of 2020, which would prevent the city council from adopting that ordinance to move the budget process back later into the year. So the only way that the Home Rule Charter can be changed is by a vote of the citizenry, and that's what the ordinance before you this evening is. Ordinance 1551 would place the changes to the financial practices section of the Home Rule Charter on the June 2nd, 2026 ballot. If that is adopted by the citizens, then the city council could consider an ordinance to adjust the timing of your budget process. So that's what this ordinance tonight does. It does not change your budget process. It provides an opportunity for the citizens to vote on changing the budget process. As this is the second reading of an ordinance, a roll call vote is required. We do recommend adoption of ordinance 1551.
Thank you, John. Are there any visitors to be heard on this item? Seeing none, council for any discussion?
I'll move approval of the second reading.
Motion to approve the second reading by Councilor Holland, second by Councilor Price. Any other discussion? We will do a roll call vote on the machine. Are we missing one?
Jay. I mean, there's not green.
Jay, we're waiting for you to vote. Thank you. 9 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries. I understand you're reading the memo in details. Perfect. Next item we have is moving on to new business, be the engineering consultant agreement for the South Dakota Highway 50 utility crossing at Princeton Street. Jose?
Thank you. At the February 2nd meeting, the City Council considered an agreement with Banner Associates for the design of the utility crossing at the intersection between Highway 50, the bypass, and Princeton Street. The utility crossings in question would be an extension of the sanitary sewer north to reach the north side of the bypass. Similarly, an extension of the water main north, again, to cross Highway 50. Due to the cost concerns, the council decided not to approve the agreement with Banner at that meeting. The City Council also directed staff at that meeting to solicit proposals from DOT-approved consultants for the design of the proposed crossing. Staff developed a scope of work and requested proposals from 8 DOT pre-approved consultants. These requests were sent to the consultants on February 3rd and asked to return a cost for the work no later than the end of day, February 19th. The consultants were asked to strictly follow the developed scope of work, and if deviations were made, to provide a proposed change. Out of the 8 consultants contacted, the city received proposals from 7. Here is the list of all the consultants asked and the ones that city received costs from. Staff has worked with all of these consultants, with the exception of KLJ, ISG, and Olteg. More recently, McClowery completed the survey, design, staking, and materials testing for East Clark Street. Stockwell completed the survey, design, staking, and construction administration for the downtown project. And finally, although Houston has not been hired by the city for any design work, we do contract with them for testing at the landfill. I should say that the city has worked with Banner multiple times. More recently, and not put in here, was the Jack Powell edition. Regardless, at this time, staff did not request any estimates from the consultant for the proposed work. However, it should be noted that the cost, regardless of the estimate, will vary depending on material prices at bidding, contractor availability, DOT requirements, and how the impact to the public is mitigated during construction. On January 20th, 2026, the City Council also approved a resolution allocating $575,000 of second penny funds to cover utility crossings at this location. The City Council will ultimately have the decision to award a bid or not, depending on the cost and funding available. Administration recommends, or asks, I should say, the council to review the proposals and allow the mayor to sign the contract with the desired consultant.
Thank you, Jose. Is there any visitors to be heard on this project, or on this item? Seeing none, council, for any discussion by council? Councilor Holland?
You mentioned that
Your mic.
Oh, thank you. Somebody else turned it off for me. That all these quotes contain the clause saying it's dependent, it changes with the cost of material and delivery. Is that correct? Was that true of all the quotes, is what I'm saying?
So the quotes that you received today is just for the design work.
Okay.
The city didn't ask for any of the consultants to give us an estimate of what the actual work would cost.
Okay.
The actual crossing. I believe in the prior item on February 2nd, Banner provided a quote for that construction cost. We didn't ask the consultants to provide that at this time for this item.
Oh, okay. And so the quotes here all reflect the same parameters.
They do, with the exception, if I remember right, I believe there was one consultant that provided, KLJ provided a list of deviations from the scope that staff provided, and that was provided to the council as well.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Over there.
Councilor Helwig.
Thank you. So I noted that the McClary engineering was substantially lower, and we have an email to note that they were able to reduce costs due to some survey data that they have. Is that survey data that only they have access to, or is that survey data that other engineering firms also had access to? Because I'm trying to figure out sort of why this very large discrepancy between the engineering firm.
So the survey data that McClary has, that's their survey data. So they don't share that with us or any other consultant. Regarding their cost, I would also say that each of these also they also pay differently, right? They might have different overheads, they might have different items that they have to pay themselves, and that would also affect the cost as well.
Can I follow up on that?
Go ahead.
In your estimation and experience, would you say that this is more reflective of the fact that they already have that survey data, and do you feel confident and good about using that existing survey data?
I mean, I feel confident that their survey data is appropriate, yeah.
Councilor Lieber?
Also in their email, they mentioned that they were able to lower cost, and then it says we would only need to supplement that information with additional utility locates and limited ground survey. So my question was, that statement, is that reflective in the 15,000, or do you believe that would be in addition to the 15,000?
No, so they're still gonna be doing some survey, and that additional survey would be included in the 15,000.
Okay.
And that's what they're referring to there, that locating the utilities and so
And the
forth.
second question I have is, have you worked with McClary before?
Yeah, the most recently was the East Clark project.
Thank you.
Councilor Taller?
To me, this looks like a pretty easy decision, Jose. Looking at these bids and the scope of work that you've worked with before, which one would you recommend personally?
Put him on the spot, huh?
I guess I don't have a dog in this fight, I suppose, if that's what I'm gonna tell you. We were very comfortable with the original proposal from Banner. I feel that all of these consultants can do the work. It's not typical for consultant work to be done on a price base item, just because typically we look for qualifications rather than cost. So nothing against McClary or any of these firms. It's just, this is not typical. So I'd rather not answer that question.
Are you taking the fifth then?
Can I? I don't know.
All right, I think I know which way I'm going, but thank you very much.
I just want to clarify, I know, Jim, you're in the group. The VCDC is already working on covering some of this expense. Is that correct with their Vermillion as well?
We said we'd give some money towards the engineering of this expense.
Okay. So just want to remind council that this is also utilizing their funds as well for what we approve. Councilor Lieber?
Well, I guess you did not try to answer the question, but you've worked with McLaren in the past. Has there been any problems with McLaren in the past?
No, I've never had any problem with any of them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion by council? Out of the ones you received, is there any motions for any of the engineering firms? Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Allen has one more question.
I don't think I saw if we had an estimate for this portion of the project.
I'm sorry?
Did we have? No, our original estimate of what we thought this would,
The actual construction?
well, no, what we thought that the engineering, did we have an estimate for that, or did we just have one for the full scope?
We just had one for the full cost.
Okay, thanks.
Motion to accept the lowest bid by Councilor Taller, is there a second? Second by Councilor Lieber, is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Jose. Next item we have is A resolution to annex track 1 to the Blue Stem Trail Edition. Property located on the east side of North Crawford Road, approximately 412 feet north of East Main Street. Jose.
Thank you. So the item being considered is the annexation of Track 1 Blue Stem Trail Edition. This excluding the west 200 feet. This property is located north of East Main Street and to the east of Crawford Road. This red line is actually the existing city limits. So the property that we're looking into annexing is this area here that's outside of city limits and adjacent to the city. This property that would be annexed is approximately 11.81 acres in size. The property is currently being farmed. The land is in the RR, Rural Residential District, within the JJZA. The owner is planning on developing the land for residential uses. The owner has submitted their petition to annex the above mentioned area into the municipal boundaries of Vermillion. The property would be, if the property is developed, the city will extend utilities to the area so that future lots are serviced by the city. The land will enter city limits zone NRC, Natural Resource Conservation District, which is the most restrictive classification and allows farming operations within the city. It should be noted that the owner has been made aware and has acknowledged and has also agreed that the city may elect to serve the annexed area with city utilities if as allowed by a state statute or any agreements in place. Administration recommends approving the resolution to annex Track 1 Blue Stem Trail Edition in the south half of the southwest quarter, excluding the west 200 feet of the south half of the southwest quarter of Section 17, Township 92 North, Range 51 west of the 5th Prime Meridian, Clay County, South Dakota.
Thank you, Jose. Is there any visitors to be heard on this? Seeing none, council for any discussion? Any motions? Motion approved by Councilor Cheeseman. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Murrah. Any other discussion on this? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. Next item, then we have an authorization to notify the electric co-op with intent to serve said annexed land.
Again, the purpose of this authorization is to notify Clay Union Electric, or CUE, of the city's intent to provide annexed property with city electric service, and to offer to purchase electric facilities within this area as per state statute. This agenda item coincides with the previous item, which was the annexation of the land. By state law, if the city does not notify a rural electric cooperative within 1 year of the annexation of its intent to serve the annexed area shall continue to be served by the rural electric cooperative. CUE is required by state law to acknowledge in writing receipt of the notice of intent within 90 days of receiving the city's notice. The city has elected to serve all annexed areas since 1992. State law changed the notification time to 1 year from annexation. The city is unaware, at this time, the city is unaware of any CUE customers in the area to be annexed. Regardless, per state statute, the city will pay compensation for service rights within this space. CUE was notified via email on February 23rd of this item, that this item would be at tonight's meeting. The city was notified by the owner of the intent to annex on Saturday, February 21st. Additionally, annexation does not remove any revenues derived from property taxes to either the school district or the county. Any additional funds that the school district may receive from the rural electric is based on the, and I quote, number of kilowatt hours delivered by the company, end quote. And this is from SDCL 10-36-10. Essentially, if no one is using power in the property being annexed, the school district is not losing any funds. But in other words, no customers, no usage, no loss of funds. The property owner is aware of the city's intent, or that the city has historically elected to serve all newly annexed areas with city electric services. The city will work with CUE to identify electrical distribution properties within the annexed area. And again, the price for these properties will be established following the state statute. Administration recommends the city elect to serve the annexed area and approve the attached notice of intent to purchase electric utility properties in the annexed areas. I should say that the city did receive an email from the Clay Union general manager, and they asked staff to read it. So I'm going to be reading it. My name is Chris Larson, General Manager of Clay Union Electric Corporation. I would like to voice the Board of Directors' opposition to the transfer of the electric service rights from Clay Union Electric to the City of Vermillion. As we have expressed every time an event like this has come up for consideration, we would be happy to partner with the City of Vermillion on this redevelopment, or this development. The council could vote to allow Clay Union to continue servicing electricity in this development. This would save the City of Vermillion the cost of installing electric infrastructure, and in return, the City of Vermillion would receive 6% of the revenue that Clay Union received if they were able to continue serving the load. That is the 2% municipal tax and the additional 4% tax for Clay Union serving within the city limits. Clay Union Electric, East River Electric, and Basin Electric would also pay a kilowatt hour tax to the school district if it continued to be served, or if it continued to serve the development. I'm sorry I can't be there in person to speak against the transfer of electric service rights, but thank you for your consideration. Chris Larson, General Manager, Clay Union Electric.
Thank you, Jose. Are there any visitors to be heard on this? Seeing none, council for any discussion? Yeah, question. Does the sales tax get paid if it's serviced by us or Clay Union?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion by council? Any motions? Motion to approve by Councilor Murrah, second by Councilor Hellwig. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. Next item we have is a resolution to purchase a small bucket truck for the Light and Power Department. Jose, it's your show.
Thank you. As part of the equipment replacement fund, the small bucket truck from the Light and Power Department is scheduled to be replaced. This equipment is meant to be replaced in 2027. However, due to sharp increases and long lead times, staff is asking for the vehicle to be replaced, to be ordered now. This vehicle is a 2017 Altech AT37-G-EDC. Staff is proposing to purchase a vehicle from a Sourcewell vendor. The vendor contacted was Altech Industries. Altech does not have a local dealer. What they do have is a factory direct dealer that takes orders locally and places the order with the factory, directly with the factory. In our case, the factory direct dealer is in Watertown, and the factory that we would be working with would be in St. Joseph, Missouri. Both have agreed to sell the city the truck based on an Altech Sourcewell bid. The city would be purchasing a new Altech AT37G-US40 bucket truck. The new equipment will have a 40-foot reach as opposed to the current equipment that has a 37-foot reach. Other than this, the two pieces of equipment are similar. The cost for the bucket truck with all options is $190,760. Should be noted that staff also asked another manufacturer for a price on a similar bucket truck. However, the other manufacturer declined to provide an actual price since the amount would be considerably more than Altech's price, than the price received from Altech. The 2027 Equipment Replacement Fund includes $110,700 for the purchase of a new bucket truck. The city will be short approximately $80,600. Unless savings are achieved with the purchase of other vehicles, the replacement fund will have to be adjusted during the budget review session in 2027. The current Altech truck that we have will be sold instead of traded in. The sale for the old bucket truck is estimated to be around $70,000. Money received from the current bucket truck will be placed in the equipment replacement fund. Administration recommends the resolution for the purchase of the new small bucket truck from Altech be approved.
Thank you, Jose. Any visitors to be heard on this? Seeing none, council for any discussion? Any motions? Motion approved by Councilor Genowine. Is there a second? Second. second by Counselor Cheeseman. Any other discussion on this item? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Jose. Next item we have is city manager's report.
Thank you. Just a couple of upcoming meetings before the next city council meeting on March 16th. The Human Relations Commission is meeting this Thursday, the 5th, at 5:30 p.m. They typically meet in the Memorial Conference Room here in the second floor of City Hall. Our City Planning and Zoning Commission and the County Planning Commission have a joint meeting next Monday, March 9th at, I'm sorry, Jose, it's at 5:30, right? 5:30 in the Powell Conference Room to consider a rezoning request in the JJZA. And the Historic Preservation Commission meets on Wednesday, March 11th at 9 a.m. in the Powell Conference Room here at City Hall. Just a reminder, the city is participating in CCOG's Safe Streets for All grant. This is evaluating traffic concerns in southeastern South Dakota. We have probably another week or two. The public can go on there and enter comments about different intersections, streets in the community, whether that is a pedestrian, a vehicular, or bike concern. There's a link available on the city's website to be able to get at that survey. Just a reminder, Clay County residents have until April 6th to file an appeal of their property tax valuation that we received in the mail last week, which means that at your next city council meeting on the 16th, 3 council members will be selected to serve on the Consolidated Board of Equalization, with all others named as an alternate. So I'm just letting you know of your duty and give you time to check your schedules for the 16th. The Board of Appeals it looks like it's going to be held on Tuesday, April 14th. We'll have more information on that for you next week. And a reminder that before your next meeting, the 16th, at 5 o'clock that night, so 5 p.m. on Monday, March 16th, there will be a meeting with the Clay County Commission to review the comprehensive plan for the joint jurisdiction area. There's also a raffle notification that came in. The Boys and Girls Club, they will be selling raffle tickets at $50 each. The sale time is April 1st and runs until May 15th. There are several prizes available, ranging from a 2025 Bronco utility shed, a lofted barn playhouse, 2-night Black Hills stay, a number of different prizes that they have. Proceeds can be designated for the local Boys and Girls Club, and the proceeds will help provide the different services of Boys and Girls Club, such as after school and summer programs, academic support, etc. You do need to be 18 years of age to purchase one of these raffle tickets. That's all that I have.
Thank you, John. I got a quick follow-up question. That Safe Streets, that's any road, include whether the city has jurisdiction over it or the highways?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. Just in the 6-county area in one of the participating communities. I'm just going to pick an Elk Point, for example. They are not participating in this survey, so you couldn't enter something in Elk Point. But certainly all the roads in Vermillion, you can. So like Highway 50, a piece of North Crawford Road, or Cherry Street are state roads, but you can enter comments on those particular streets.
Thank you. That's all I have on the agenda for the council. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilor Murrah, second by Councilor Lieber. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Meeting adjourned. Good night.